Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to show you guys how to set up manual engine controls right now. First thing you do is hover over this icon and go to controls. Make sure you're in mouse aim. Okay? Now, under mouse aim, you should have this as mouse aim from all these choices that you have, okay? Make sure it's mouse aim. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about virtual instructor. Don't worry about toggle controls mode. Make sure you do have a button that you can fire your guns with. If you don't have anything there, this is what you do. Let's pretend that there's nothing there. So what you do is you highlight it or you double click it, but I highlight it and then assign button. When you're in this, say press a button, press the button that you want the key binding to be attached to. Okay? In my case, it's the left mouse button. So I do the same thing over and over. Okay? To drop bombs, my key binding button is space. And to fire rockets, it's one of the dots. I forgot what it's called. Okay? Right. So that's weaponry. Okay? Now let's move to main control axis. Now, if you don't have anything there, but you do have a mouse with a scroll on it, I do advise you to put it as the throttle axis. Okay? So you're using your mouse wheel to control your throttle. Now, you could also control your throttle using key bindings. Okay? If you want to do that and there's nothing there, this is what you do. We're pretending there was nothing there in the first place. You highlight it or double click it and then you click edit axis. Right? That should be now. Okay. So I put mine as 7 and 8. But after you do that, make sure you click relative control as yes. Okay? Just make sure you do that. And then click save changes. Right? Hold throttle for whip. What that means is I would have to hold a button down to make sure that I got whip on at all times. As soon as I let go of that button, which is in this case is number 7 or my mouse wheel, as soon as I let go of it, I wouldn't have any whip. So most of us like to have whip all the time. So make sure this is set as no. Ignite boosters, I believe it's more of a jet thing, and I'm not really a jet player yet. So, and rolling axis, pitch axis, yaw axis. Make sure these are your button settings. Don't have inverted y-axis as yes. Just don't have anything there. Okay. For toggle flaps, flaps down, flaps up. Toggle brake, toggle gear. I have mine as G because I would accidentally press F when I'm trying to turn. So I have mine as G. And I got 6 mouse buttons on my mouse. So that's MB4 is mouse button 4, MB5 is mouse button 5. For toggle air brake, you can have a button there. I think there are certain propeller planes that you can have air brakes in, which one is the F4U and the one of the P47s. I think it's the M. And for toggle gear, you need to have something there, definitely. You need to make sure your landing gear is working at the right time. So I would personally ignore gunners and camera control as it doesn't really help you in combat. Now, miscellaneous acrobatic smokes. open cockpit and close cockpit, open lighting, cockpit lighting. This is sometimes helpful when it's pitch black, and yeah, all you got, if you would like, just find the keys. Now, if you guys have never used manual engine controls, where it says instructor here, under main control axis, I believe it's, no, sorry, under mechanization, nope. hold on, there we go. Under instructor here, right? If you never used manual engine control, these would be by default set to yes. So what you do is say no to all of them. This is going to help you have more control of the plane. You're not going to fully have control of the plane, but this is going to give you even more control of the plane than what you have already, right? So that's done. And for mouse aim, all this is the sensitivity of your mouse. I have mine at 4 because that's the way I like it. Now, after this is done, make sure you go to full wheel controls, right? After you click full wheel controls, go back to your left and go to manual engine control, right? All of these should be blank for you guys, most of it. So, go to the engine control mode and bind a key, right? What this key does is it activates, it starts your manual engine control. So what you do is you take off, you put your gear inside your plane, and then you press whatever key binding that you have to activate your manual engine control. Okay, now toggle engine. What that means is turning the engine on or off. So don't touch it while you're in midair, right? Now again, if there's nothing there and it says not assigned, this is what you do. You click it. You get what you have to change is maximum value, minimum value, and relative control. So I need to change my maximum value here. My button is 4. Minimum value here to 5, and then I change relative control to yes, and then I click save changes. So you do it for all of this, okay? And when you come to toggle auto prop pitch. In some planes, even after you activated manual engine control, you have to activate the manual or prop pitch controls. So if say for example my propeller pitch would be, in some planes, would be automatic, but if I want to take full control of it, I would press my keybind, which is caps lock here again, and gain full control of it. That's all that means. Toggle prop pitch. Toggle auto prop pitch, sorry. And for my radiator and my oil radiator, notice I have the same buttons. This is just to save time. I could assign different keys for both of these, but just to save time, I just have it all the same. Okay. Also, again, just as up here, toggle auto prop pitch, toggle auto radiator. After you press engine control modes while you're in the air to activate your manual engine controls, what I do is I click caps lock, then I click 0, so I can activate manual prop pitch and manual radiator controls. Okay, that's all I do. Now, for some planes, you will have a supercharger. And if you have a supercharger and you know which altitude you can change it at, you could have just a single key binding for that. Now, for magenta positioning, make sure you have a key binding for Nixon's magenta. Sorry, I called it magento. I believe it's called magneto positioning. And the previous magneto positioning, make sure you have a key binding for both of these. Okay, so that's really all you need. Now, instead of clicking OK, what you do is you click mouse aim, and then you click OK. Now you're set. Alright guys, thanks.